Welcome to the Friday Value video. And these videos are really intended to enhance your lifelong well-being. And I do hope that they are doing just that. So we are kind of heavy into a fairly long series on what proper physical fitness training is and isn't. And we've covered a lot of things. We've covered different types of fitness. We've talked about the fact that there's different types of fitness biology. There's physical, mental, social, emotional. But we're focusing on physical at this point. And if you haven't watched the other videos yet, I would encourage you to do so. There's some good information there that may benefit you. But right now, we're moving on to flexibility type of physical fitness training. And I'm going to share some of the benefits that are reported from doing this type of training. Less injuries, pain, improved posture and balance, better muscle condition, better physical performance, and a relaxed state of mind for those who love to stretch, and it really makes them feel relaxed and they unwind. Now, there's different types of stretching, which is typically what people do to improve their flexibility. They do stretching. There's a static stretch, which is similar to what this gentleman is doing right here, leaning forward, probably counting to 10, 20, 30, whatever he can tolerate, because it looks like he's not very flexible with that hamstring. And so, that's one type. Now, there's also dynamic stretching, and that's where he would come forward and try to reach and then go back and take the stress off the hamstring, and then come forward again and see if he can reach a little further, and then come back and take the stress off again. Dynamic stretching tends to be a lot more effective, at least as far as being authentic, because when you go to take a walk, and your calf needs to get longer as you lift your toes up to land on your heel. You're not landing on that foot and waiting 30 seconds before you take your next step. That muscle has to be able to get longer and shorter with each step that you take. There's a whole lot of things that happen in the body from the ground up, and hopefully you've watched some of those videos of mine. However, so the point here is dynamic stretching is going to be more authentic. Now, some of you might say, oh, my hamstrings are tight. They've always been tight. I've had PT stretch them. I've had everybody stretch them. I've never touched my toes. Well, there's a difference between tight muscles and taut muscles. Taut, T-A-U-T. A lot of the times a muscle can be taut, which means it's sort of lengthened, but it's holding its own as far as trying to stabilize you. Hamstrings can be taut if you have an unstable pelvis, and they're sort of like the guide wire to a pole trying to keep you stable. And I know stretching has really been, the holy grail of doing something before a sports activity, before any type of issue. It's been given for a long time when it comes to rehabilitation after an injury, a surgery, whatever. And it's commonly what's done when people desire to be more flexible. However, if your primary goal for stretching is flexibility, the studies don't really support that stretching has any clear value to anyone, not even elite athletes. According to the data, most stretching, and you may find this surprising, especially if you feel benefit from it, is simply a waste of time. Now, this doesn't mean that you never stretch, because your goal may be different than one to improve flexibility. But if your goal is to improve flexibility, there are much better ways to do it. And if we define flexibility as being the intrinsic property of the tissues of your body to allow a maximal joint range of motion without causing injury, a lot of times, you'll be in a yoga class and you might hurt yourself, be doing some kind of athletic adventure and hurt yourself because you go too far. And of course, if you tear things, that'll begin the scarring process, reduce your mobility, and it's the opposite reason why people stretch. Okay, I hope you're enjoying this, and we're going to finish this particular topic in next week's video and then move on to the last type of physical training. We'll see you next time.